Thank you. The first frame, Kyren Wilson to break.
Neil, the quest for the final begins.
Yes, intriguing match, isn't it, when these two play? And even though Trump is usually favourite, as you saw in the head-to-heads, he doesn't always win, far from it. They know each other well. They've grown up playing in events as juniors and a lot of professional events. They're rivals, definitely. They're not anything worse than that. There's no real issues, but another intriguing chapter in it tonight. And interesting to see exactly how Judd Trump plays tonight. That was a lovely safety shot. Couldn't have been played any better. But now his form is a bit in and out. I mean, he's played some very good matches. He's not always following up with another one. So I don't think he's at his brilliant best, but the season is relatively young and this is a big night for him. And that man is standing in his way.
Yes, and he's a formidable obstacle, Kyren Wilson. Rather like Yan Bingtao, who we'll see tomorrow night. He is so tough to beat, powerful in all departments.
Well, that's good enough. He was put in a lot of trouble by Trump, but there was a perfectly weighted safety shot, which he had no way back to bulk, but he's found a way to make things difficult at least. It's a containing safety shot, which sometimes means that your next shot is not going to be easy either. But all you can do is stop your opponent for one shot. Table's been recovered, incidentally, going into the semi-finals from what we saw earlier in the week. So it should be absolutely pristine again now, as it was at the very beginning of the week.
With these superfine match cloths, Neil, I think 4 days is just about enough. They need to be changed.
Of course, your local club, it might be 4 years the same cloth is on, but that's a different story, isn't it? Just a last point on all this rivalry. I think I would just say this: they don't like losing to each other. That's basically all I'd say. There's really nothing more to it than that. Got very different lifestyles, but I think there's a genuine respect between them.
Yeah, it's as simple as this. One has got something the other one wants.
Well, a nice pot. He had no way of controlling the cue ball there, not from underneath the cushion where he was playing it, just to get the pot and hope for the best, really. And half ball cannon on the brown means it's on, albeit not easy, but if he was to play it, it would bring him down towards the reds, this brown.
Brown ball. Kyren Wilson
Just slightly overcut it, which was always a possibility on that shot. Sometimes I think you're forced into playing shots, so he probably knew he had to go for that. offered great value had it gone in.
This is the kind of opportunity, if he was in a flow in mid-match, you'd fancy him to make plenty. Early on, he had to get fully acclimatised. Different environment.
One.
I think his concern is that when the black is respotted, first of all, where will it go? I don't know if the black spot is covered. It looks as if the two reds might be on top of it, or certainly near enough. The pink spot, unfortunately, looks free. The trump, that is, he didn't really want it to go there because it looks like it just completely ties it up. See, the pink spot has to be free, doesn't it? Yeah. So that's the end of the black for the moment, unless, of course, can bring it out into the open. I think that's why he had a first look at it before he potted the red. He knew that there was an immediate issue.
No.
Not the correct angle on the blue, so had to leave something mid-distance.
$50.
Well, the black is available. It's pounding its way through that little gap there. We'll go back on the same spot, but gradually he's moving the reds away. There's another red now just moved out of the open.
$22. $23.
Well, he always knew that the brown ball was there as a backup if he didn't get perfect position, so it could be that that's his next colour, and a long way to get from the brown to another red. Blue is a possibility, but you have to miss the yellow in playing up and down, which might not be easy. Now, the reds have blocked each other off here. There's nothing
27.
that I can see that is available. I mean, the plant, I mean, he's looking at those two reds, but that's really difficult. Really difficult. The distance between them is, well, as far as plants go, enormous. He could be there a long time and never pop that. That's very, very difficult plant.
Judd trump 27.
He famously talked about naughty snooker, didn't he? I think that shot choice might have warranted detention.
Well, I think he tried to get the cue ball back down, and of course he had no control over the red, so I wouldn't fancy anyone to master a plant like that. And I guess he didn't have many other options.
And we would have been shouting from the rooftops that he'd gone in. But with that difference between the reds, that distance, there's no way you could say that was a likelihood of going in.
Yeah, I mean, the last thing on it is that if the red you're trying to pot is near the pocket, that helps. But that was a long way away as well, so it was all, everything pointed against it. But I guess the only relief for Wilson is that Trump didn't make that many from that chance.
One.
An example of the very straight queuing. Kyren Wilson. Cue invariably goes through in a very straight line, which I know is what you're supposed to do, but it's one of the hardest things. Now, obviously he can pot the black, but now he's worried about what he hits on the way through, the pink or the red just to the left of the black. Which in itself maybe took his mind off the pot a little bit, because he got the position, which is no good to him now.
Brown overcut, black undercut.
What?
One of Trump's most painful defeats came against Wilson in the semi-final of the Masters in 2018. Trump led 5-2, tried to force the issue, went for a questionable plant, ended up being beaten 6-5. The choice to go for the plant in this frame looks as though it's not going to matter.
Nine.
He can certainly get a long way in front with the reds in open play before he worries about the... Well, there's four reds very close to cushions, which are a bit of a headache. But not if you're quite a long way in front by then.
$40. $50.
Well. I mean, he knows he's got the pink there as a safety net for his next colour. But the cue ball has gone the one place. I mean, he didn't know quite where they were going to finish, but now hampered over the top of the black for the pink. It's a horrible shot. So he's really gone sand and cement there by putting the black safe. 40 in front with a lot of points on, but not many balls in open play. I think he's left the red on. Certainly he's left him the chance to put the red near the pocket. Sure about Judd's choice of shot there. Now he knows he might have to get one of the safe reds out, which he doesn't want to do. That's no good.
1.
Wilson is on the pink, but another red goes to join the awkward ones on the right-hand side cushion.
Yes, it's not so easy as all that here to get on the red up the table. He needs a cue ball somewhere near the brown spot if he's going to play on that red to the left middle. He just drifted too far.
Seven. Kyren Wilson 7.
Funny old frame this, Neil. If you're going to get a frame like this involving these two players, more often than not it's going to be the first or a decider.
Yes, and of course the 33-point lead's a valuable one. And Judd has. Don't know if there's enough room around the black ball for the cue ball to just rest up against it and play the snooker. Those three reds on the far side are probably going to be available. Well, he may have left the reddies closest to the middle pocket. Option's pretty thin on the ground here. Hard to think you can do anything really worthwhile. You would like to get other reds in play, but how much of a risk do you want to take in doing that? Over a minute looking at it. For some reason, that fluke that you see along the cushion doesn't happen so often along the Bolt cushion. Maybe it just more likely to leave the cushion. If that was the opposite end of the table, do you think that would have probably gone in?
1.
So now a real opportunity. Okay, the lead is not sufficient yet, and he will need something of those three reds that are safe. At least one of them. Yeah, there was always a saying in snooker, never cannon a red out off of a red. Which obviously is complete nonsense. It's because you can't
3.
make rules like that, because he's going to do it here, and he's been the world champion. He's going to try and shift reds out.
4.
So sayings like that are meaningless, Phil.
Well, when the black's over a pocket or close to it, definitely.
$11. 12.
Another saying, it's not how, it's how many. And Trump has now got enough. Looks at the scoreboard. He knows that Wilson needs a snooker. If the green goes in, he will need 2.
Yeah, a couple of snookers. If Judd was to miss this, no doubt Kyren would carry on.
Thank you. 16.
So barring something extraordinary, the first frame goes to Judd Trump. Not a great frame, but what I would say about it, Kyren Wilson has missed 2 chances in it. The brown early on, and then the black on the pink spot, which it'll be in his mind. Early days yet.
24. Foul.
He was better on Allen's angles, wasn't he?
Kyren Wilson 7. Judd Trump 24 on the first frame.
The black coming off the table did not matter. Judd Trump makes an agreeable start in terms of the scoreboard. He's drawn first blood.
More great hits.
Welcome back to Bolton and the first semi-final of the Cazoo Champion of Champions. How ironic. Judd Trump, who is 3rd on the all-time list of century break builders, wins the first frame here with a best effort of just 27. You don't see that too often in professional snooker. Don't know what the delay is here. I think it's just latecomers taking their seats, settling down before the action gets underway. The last thing you want, they're not making a noise, but I think, Neil, it's fair to say that
Gents,
at
we're
this
not going to
level,
start until you
movement
sit down, so you need to sit
is
down
more
straight
off-putting
away.
than noise.
Yeah, I think referee Rob Spencer's explained it. They're not going to get cracking until everyone is in.
Can you sit down,
And people
please?
want to come in just to see this match, don't they?
Thank
Still,
you.
we had a full house last night. We've got a lot in
The second
tonight as
frame.
well,
Judd Trump to break.
which is all great to see. The atmosphere in this venue has been very good all week, I have to say, when it hasn't been full. There's something quite nice about the setup, the layout. Brings about the sort of the contrast between the cheers when the players emerge and then that wonderful silence when play gets underway. It's been good this week, very good. It's that sort of difficult to define thing about a venue which is kind of electric. It's getting very close, isn't it, to all these shots, but again, just goes astray.
It was good cueing, but to knock in that kind of shot, you need very good cueing.
One.
Oh, and that was no picnic for Judd Trump either. Beautifully rolled in.
Eight. Nine.
That was very nicely played. I know he's going to land on a red, but he's landed
16.
absolutely behind it, which helps.
17.
And that was equally well played, again, perfectly on the red. But no reason to go out for a lower value colour when you've got that sort of positional strength. Now you can see that
25.
bottom red there of the bunch. It's potable from the left side, a bit higher up from obviously where the cue ball is now. He's just looking at that position. If you could land there, it would be position A. Well, he's a little short of pace on that, but in potting that bottom red,
32.
he'll certainly move other reds if he doesn't fancy it. Yeah, obviously the loose one will have to come into play. Just lacked a little bit of pace onto that last shot.
33.
Well, he's recovered the situation, and this time he has the angle to go directly into the bunch. So this is a big shot. Wow, that's how to split them. That is a pretty good split. Now all the reds lined up down the centre.
40.
Well, he left it no doubt about it there, did he? Well, he isn't going to stay on the black. It's obviously a little bit of a shame, but he's got a frame of snooker to win.
Few players decimate the bunch. Like Trump.
46.
He can transform a frame.
47.
Present himself with a frame winning chance, and that's precisely what he's done here.
$52. $53.
Yes, and he's done it very swiftly. This frame is only 4.5 minutes old.
$60. 61.
It's very nice, isn't it? You see 3 reds all lined up perfectly down the centre. Got to play into an area. Got the other red in the middle if he wants it as well. Next shot is frame ball already.
68.
Only been playing 5 minutes.
69. $76. 77.
Well, certainly 2 contrasting frames, Phil, but they're going to be won by the same player.
$82. 83.
This is what he can do and why he is absolutely brilliant to watch.
$88. Judd Trump 88.
No century, but quite an exhibition of quick scoring. The first 2 frames, as Neil said, chalk and cheese, but both have been chalked up by Trump. That last frame was a rapido, but it wasn't a record rapido. Hashtag ITV Snooker. Let us know the answer to my question here. What was the quickest frame in professional snooker history? Who were the 2 players?
Thank
when
you.
was
The
it?
third frame. Kyren Wilson to break. 1.
He probably thought that was something of a free shot in that on that left side there's no reds available that he could leave. Obviously he could have left the one he played, but bouncing the cue ball up for the pink was nicely judged. But as we saw in the previous one, he's a very creative player, Judd Trump. I mean, here, see the situation here, the high value colours are out of the game. The pink just might be potable, but either way, he's the kind of player can develop the reds and colours pretty quickly. He's just thinking about if he could get on the pink with an angle, he would open the reds at the same time. So if you're looking to land where that Q-tip is putting now, if he could land there, it would be perfect. Other places in that area, he might not have access to the pink. And I think that's why he eventually chose to go up for the blue. And this is a very Trump-like route into the bunch from the top red, and the key will be the cue ball here. If it stays in the centre of the table, well, it zipped across there. He didn't quite catch them, but they still split well.
30.
Point I'm making is the cue ball stops dead centre in the middle of the table. You know the impact was perfect. As you saw, a half ball on the top red. Still has one available though.
Well, that was easily missable.
Judd Trump 13.
But he actually missed it by a mile. A big portion of his problem there, Neil. He opened the reds but closed down pink and black.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of luck involved in breaking the reds open. A lot of skill as well. But you don't really know where all the balls are going to end up. It'll be impossible. I don't know whether Kyren Wilson has made a change to his cue action. You see this shot go in, but there's a lot of movement off the cue back and forward in the build-up to these shots. See all this I don't think I've seen him move the cue so much as that. I noticed it in an earlier frame. He is always tinkering with his game.
5.
You're right, he's no stranger to experimentation. Always trying to improve.
Apparently I'm hearing that he was practicing that sort of cue action with no balls on the table earlier on. So I just think there's something different about his cue action today. I hadn't noticed it recently. It's some big exaggerated movements leading up to the shot. I'm not saying it's a bad thing by any means. Clearly he thinks it works for him. Anyone that follows snooker closely will know the player Anthony Hamilton, who's got a very similar cue action, maybe taking a leaf out of his book or something.
Well, of course, Kyren and Anthony are linked, aren't they? Because they combined, the two of them, for 6 consecutive centuries in a match a few years ago.
cue action will be tested to the full on this next shot. Problem is, there's a red right below the cue ball, right where he'd like to put his bridge hand, which doesn't help.
Blue
The
ball.
shot's hard enough as it is. Yeah, the red ball just underneath his cue there. It's just a distraction. Ah, it's delightful though. Really well struck. It's the kind of shot where you want a bit of a hide into nothing, really. I mean, he's going to leave the red for his opponent that he's going to be facing. Easily missable.
Kyren
But you
Wilson,
can't
17.
keep going to the well and potting pressure balls one after the next.
One. Six. Seven.
Well, the high value colours are out of the game at the moment, but he could certainly take the risk of playing into the pink or black here at pace if he wanted to. There is a loose red, but it's probably a risk worth taking to try and develop that situation now. Thought he'd play a bit more pacily into those. The speed he played it, it's hard to think that he could ever bring the black into play, but of course another red has become available, at least.
Thirteen.
If he can't win the frame at this visit, what he can do is replicate what he did in the opening frame, which is build a really substantial lead with many of the remaining balls awkward.
Nineteen.
Well, that's true, Phil. It will be a good effort to get a long way clear, though, won't it, where the balls are, I think. Nice cue power on that last shot. It is a difficult table to keep the break flowing. Nicely on that red by the side of the pink ball.
24.
Basically chipping away.
$25.
Yeah, it's the definition of the word substantial, isn't it? When you're 21 ahead normally, or after the blue 26, that wouldn't be substantial if the balls are open. But where they are, I still think it wouldn't be quite substantial, but it would certainly be very healthy.
Yes, it's hard to think that Kyren won't come back to the table with enough points still to win the frame, because he's got a lot of work to do, but you never write Trump off the way he pots.
30.
Feels a natural to come over towards the pink and black here. Whether you want to move them, I don't know, but the natural.
30.
Oh, the pink might be available, but goodness, it's such a difficult shot. Does he really want to play it? He's looking at the scores. He knows that the lead of 27 is a sizable one, as we've explained, where the balls are. But should he miss this pink, and it's very missable, then he just opens the door a little bit. So, put it this way, Mark Selby, his greatest rival, is the top of the rankings. He wouldn't be going for the pink. He'd be playing to put a colour safe, I think. He's a consummate match player.
Judd Trump 30.
And Judd Trump has done exactly the same. It's got to be the right shot. It's a very big match. And he played the correct shot, I think.
Yeah, can't pick holes in that logic whatsoever.
I think there was an attempt to bring the pink slightly more play than it was. It's not quite worked.
Trump's always possessed oodles of talent. Now he's got patience to complement it. Hampered queuing, this always ramps up the complexity.
I was just thinking, Phil, he hasn't really got to play any shots here, has he? Just drop onto the reds, that's fine. What I would say is, I wonder if there's any way Kyren can develop pink-black or something at the end of the table with this safety shot. Maybe even get the yellow in play again. All these things, he's got to try and make something happen. It's not always a pot. It could be a clever tactical shot. He needs to bring the balls out in the open. And he's tried to do it. Frame was completely locked out, but now not so much.
Yeah, from Wilson's viewpoint, the fact that the cue ball applied the brakes, that was gold dust.
But even from in that pocket with his cue ball, still knocks them in, doesn't he? Which is why he's terribly difficult to keep out. Completely agree with Kyren Wilson's shot, but there was always a chance he'd leave a red of some description. So now, once again, he could play a cannon from a red onto a red, because his lead of 32 means he needs 2 of the 3 reds remaining. He'd push one into play here. Nicely done. He's just got awkward queuing now on the next colour. The only way back into this frame for Kyren Wilson is if he goes for this and misses it. And it's awkward, isn't it? Right over the top of the red. So again, in the back of his mind, he's not entirely sure he wants to play this. Here we go again, putting the black on the cushion. They're not playing for fun out there, Phil, are they?
But that was, again, exactly the right thing to do.
I think some people get the idea that you have to be, positive in attack all the time, but sometimes a reckless pot is not positive at all. You can be very positive in defence if you play the right shot. I mean, a shot that's going to win you the frame, how more positive can you get than that? It's not always a pot. And at the moment, he's got Kyren Wilson still on 0 frames he's won. So he's putting the pressure on him.
Whoa.
It's just what he needed. He would like to be able to pot a colour here. Running a bit low on points, 32 in it. So you wouldn't necessarily want to have to play safety shot here. Getting onto the red from the brown when the ball you're seeing comes to rest is not necessarily that easy.
Yellow ball, thank you.
Well, the yellow is playing, so he looks like he's trying to get the yellow into play. Get the snooker in behind the blue, it would appear. Well, he got a double kiss. I
Kyren
don't know if
Wilson.
that's affected it, but he didn't hit it as he meant to. It's been a very tactical frame, you know. This is the younger element of the game. I know they're not kids, these two, but it's the future of the game, and they're playing tactical snooker. Pink and black being safe, though, really does affect who's favoured in this frame. 32 points behind, but pink and black also sort of ramped up for now. Not in Kyren's favour, obviously. Hasn't changed an awful lot, that little cannon either.
And of course, it renders for Trump the last red is frame ball.
Well, this is worrying, and it looks as if another frame, well, definitely another frame has gone now, because he hit that much too thick. It's not happening for him at all yet. It's a long enough match, first to 6, but right now it's one-way traffic. It's not been the usual way that Judd Trump wins frames. Frame 2 was. Here he decided to go to plan B, and that's why he's a different player now to what he was probably 4 seasons ago, before he started winning everything. I think he underestimated his opponent, and he would go for a few too many. An example in this frame is of how he's developed an all-round game.
$11.
Now this is the time to bring out the exhibition skills.
Judd Trump 11 and the frame.
Judd Trump leads Kyren Wilson 3-0. That means Trump is 50% of the way to his 52nd professional tournament final, and he's third in the Champion of Champions. You know, viewers of ITV Snooker know the game inside out. I asked the question at the start of the previous frame, what is the fastest frame in professional snooker history? Well, the answer, 3 minutes, would you believe? That Maltese flying machine, Tony Drago against Danny Fowler, it was in the last 64 of the International in 1988. Among the many people who answered correctly, Tony Chaplin, Heather Sweeney, and Hector Nuns, the game's foremost journalist. So well done to everyone who got the answer correct, and thanks everyone who took part. Now, the International Open is a tournament that's very close to my co-commentator's heart. His name is on the trophy.
Yes, well, you don't win that often, I suppose. You're never going to forget these things. I know one thing, Tony Drago was incredibly quick. And
thank you, the
he was always
fourth
going to
frame.
be the answer, wasn't he?
Thank you. Judd trumps a break.
It's pretty obvious, but I'm going to say it anyway. Kyren really has to win this frame. I know it's first to 6, not best of 9, which 4-0 is usually the end of the way anyhow. But he just needs to get a frame. He's had a few chances, not loads. He's never really got started. He's got this sort of pumping long cue action, which he seems to have developed since, well, fairly recently. It's not working for him just yet. There's a little discussion there between player and referee. He's not sure what sort of thin edge a ready can hit. At least we saw a break-off shot that works there. So many this week I've seen a player break off and it's not been an advantage. Their opponent has knocked a red in. But this time not so. Trying to get an edge of the bunch. Dangerous shot, but he's got no options. Always a chance coming in at that sort of an angle that you are going to hit something on the way back down.
Well,
such a beautiful pot, wasn't it? It sounded great. And also, that if you take your eye off the red going in, just the way the cue was shaped back up the table, that was perfectly judged. Some great players on the snooker tour, but there's certain players who've just got that little X factor. They can play shots that others just can't do. They've got a tremendous all-round game, but there's something else, isn't there? The ability to pot the way that Judd does really puts fear into an opponent.
fine.
Well, periodically you hear the question posed, why is Ronnie O'Sullivan, why is Judd Trump always on the match table? There is a perfectly cogent reason. They're brilliant.
Safe to say that the break is going to end here.
just trump 9.
Tell you what though, Kyren Wilson is made of stern stuff. He's one of the few players, I think, equipped to withstand a trump barrage and still get into the conversation. But keep hitting that blue on the way back up is not recommended. Neil, it's irritating to hear, but it's true. Whatever you do, don't hit the blue.
I know, and it wasn't even on its spot. It's as if the cue was being drawn to it. That's what Kyren will be thinking. Well, the red just followed the cue back up the table here. It's a strange one, isn't it? I mean, he pots the red in the middle and the cue ball comes down towards a colour which is not readily available. Pink to middle, perhaps.
One.
There is a place up there he could have got on the black. I don't know if he's found that area. Don't think so. There was an argument there, you know, even though the crowd said, come on, Kyren, that he actually might have been better off playing in behind green and blue than potting the red, because he was coming into a dead zone, really.
Round ball. Kyren Wilson.
Receiving no quality table time, Wilson. Highest break so far this evening. 17. Yeah, Trump is dominating in so many ways.
An obvious statement, Phil, isn't it? But the scoreboard would just look so much better at 3-1. And if he's still on 0, the opponent's got 4. You know, it'd make him feel a lot better about things at the mid 15-minute mid-session interval. He seems not to be able to get anywhere at the moment. You know, he potted that red earlier, no colour. Just not able to get a grasp on things. Chances have not really been coming.
And Trump has learnt that, like all great champions, when you've got an opponent down, you do everything in your power to keep them there. Can't imagine he'll be doing anything rash.
Well, there's two areas. You could try and get in behind the brown off the right side of the bunch or off the left side of the bunch, that inviting area behind the green and blue. okay, but he has got a safety option here.
Just needs a spark, doesn't he? And he can't quite find it.
Yeah, something's got to happen for him, isn't it?
Bramble.
He's going to probably try and drop in behind the bramble here. Which, if he gets the shot right, will put Judd in all sorts of trouble. Never looked online, did it? Never looked quite online.
If you think about it, Trump's got a proud record to keep intact. He won the last 4 frames against David Lilley, then he whitewashed Ryan Day 6-0. So he's won 13 consecutive frames in this tournament. Is it going to be 14?
Got very close to the pot there, didn't he? It's only the extra pace that stopped it going in. I get the feeling that both players recognise the importance of this frame. Obviously for Kyren, we've explained he just needs to get a frame on next to his name, but Judd Trump, if he could win all of the first 4, he really would be feeling very confident about what's to come. I always say in snooker, or any sport, I guess, when you've got your opponent down, you've got to keep them down. quite how he played it, but he won't mind. Both players interested in that little corner of the table, aren't they, where the perfect snooker would make life very difficult for their opponent.
An unusual frame by modern standards. It's been going 15 minutes, neither player into double figures.
Once again, access to the left-hand red, but same story. It isn't easy, but you wouldn't have too much money on Trump missing it. Might be one he could just drop in, leave the cue ball in that left corner. If it goes in, he might look at putting the brown on the other end of the table. Well, that's exactly what he's done. When the black goes, that might change things. I thought he stunned it quite beautifully. Stopped that cue ball from drifting onto a cushion.
And the position of those reds, because safety was so problematic, I think actually made Trump's mind up for him.
9.
Not quite on the button there, though.
No, he's annoyed to have been short there. Straighter on the pink would be formality for me, I think. Next few shots. Drifting up the table a bit.
$15. $16. $26.
Difficult queuing, whichever ready plays. Of course, the one to the corner much easier though.
$23. $29. $30.
Now, when he puts the pink here, it will be his second highest break of the evening.
The chances are with it there, but I don't think anyone would deny him it. I mean, he's playing all the positive shots. He didn't really know where the cue ball was going to end up, but he's trying to make things happen.
It's quite funny, actually, Neil. Quite correctly, in the first frame, you pointed out that the old-timers say never go into reds off reds. He's done that 3 times in the first 4 frames, every time to his benefit.
Yeah, rules are there to be broken, aren't they?
42.
Got to take the pragmatic approach. The cue ball this time, though, has, to his annoyance, gone a bit far. Didn't really want to be dropping this black in slowly. I'm not saying he wouldn't get the shot, but he wanted better control than this. Sort of shot that can go wrong. But like most with Trump, can go wrong, but doesn't go wrong.
49.
And this is frame ball.
Well,
I think we know in snooker it's a cliche, but intervals can change matches, and for Kyren Wilson, that's going to have to be the case because he's not really involved in this match yet. He's not had a really good opportunity in any of the frames.
57.
And you get days like that, but Judd has been all over him.
58. $65. 66.
On the tour, to win 14 consecutive frames is quite an achievement. In this exalted company at the Champion of Champions, terrific stuff.
74. $80. 82. Judd Trump 82 in the front.
No century, but that was terrific from Judd Trump. We're at half-time in a football ground and Kyren Wilson's glad the whistle has gone. 4-0, he's been trumped so far.
perhaps it's prayers that Kyren Wilson needs now, because he is in big trouble against Judd Trump, who is 4-0 up. Judd Trump's pot success vastly superior to Kyren Wilson, who has struggled. He's only got 36 points on the board in comparison to Judd Trump, who scored 306 in imperious form. Ken and Stephen have watched the action with me. One player on song and the other not. Is it as simple as that, Ken?
Yeah, it's all one-way traffic at the moment. I've been a little bit surprised with Kyren Wilson's performance tonight. You know, we sort of built him up how well he played against Neil Robertson in the last match. It was a fantastic match. And he's looked a little bit edgy right from the beginning. I mean, you know, a few of the long pots, I mean, the safety is really down. You know, and normally he's so good in all those departments, his long pots as well. And they're just, he's not missing by much. And when he's missing, he's letting Judd in. But he's, you know, it's costing him big time tonight.
Yeah. Stephen, how much of it is in the mind, is in his emotions, or is his technique?
I mean, he just hasn't turned up to the party tonight, has he? I mean, you can do all the work on the practice table, you can prepare, and it just doesn't happen. But he's been outplayed in every department. And he just hasn't got going. He doesn't look confident. He looks nervous. I wouldn't say he's not. I don't think he's frightened of Judd Trump, but he's looked a little bit like you know, sort of rabbit in the headlights sort of thing.
Yeah, Ken used the word edgy, and we can have evidence of his edginess, but Judd Trump's brilliance.
Yeah, I mean, there's some great shots from Judd Trump. Judd Trump hasn't really played at his best. I mean, this is a lovely little shot. Cannon didn't have to hit it too hard, but just bringing another red into play, you know, nicely on the black. There's some lovely pots from Judd Trump tonight, but I don't think he's been at his ultimate best. He doesn't have to be, because Kyren, unfortunately, has been making it a little bit easy for him. You know, he's missed a couple of long pots, and he's let Judd Trump these type of shots just to get in, get his hand going, build up a little bit of lead. And of course, now the situation is that Judd Trump's arm is nice and loose, you know, where Kyren's is a little bit tight and he's struggling. But it's all Judd Trump at the moment, and this is a wonderful shot. This is what Judd Trump has in the tank. Look at the spin on the cue ball, the delay on it, and keeping the cue ball down this middle of the table for the red into the left centre.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see, this is kind of sums up Kyren's night. This is the end of frame 3. He's played a safety shot. Judd Trump only needs the red. As I say, that pretty much sums up the night for Kyren Wilson. He'll be very disappointed at the interval, because this would be a match to look forward to, playing Judd Trump, semi-final of the Champion of Champions. And you say nothing has gone right for him. He's not been able to get going at all. You know, fabulous long pot, of which there's been a few from Judd. But yeah, he's not under pressure. He's having it all his own way. And I'm sure Judd's surprised how easy it's been tonight. This was a lovely little shot. Lovely little touch shot. He could have had the straight red into the corner, but played that for the pink. But yeah, it's been a thoroughly dominant, comfortable first 4 frames for Judd Trump.
So what do you do if you're Kyren Wilson? We heard Neil Foles talking about his technique and maybe something he can do in practice to get him back into the rhythm.
You don't have much time, like at the practice. You've got a few. Yeah, here he is. He's just checking on the alignment.
Why are you working on something like this right before a semi-final starts?
Yeah,
surely the work's done. Everything.
Maybe there is something in his head. Like if he's walking on the line, like going across the balk line to see if you're queuing nice and straight, there must be something in his head. Maybe he felt, because he was practicing when we were up in the practice room today, and maybe he's probably working on something and something wasn't right going into the match. That remains to be seen. But intervals can sometimes change matches. Sometimes. He needs the first frame, probably needs the first couple of frames to get into this match. If he doesn't, this match is over.
Okay, well, we have spoken about Kyren Wilson being a little bit disappointing. We ought to give credit to Judd Trump, who's taken every opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. He's done a job on Kyren Wilson. He's done what he's supposed to do. He's completely dominate and impose yourself on a semi-final. That's exactly what he's done.
Yeah, and he is in complete control of this semi-final. A lot of work for Kyren Wilson to do when we come back after the break. The conclusion of our first semi-final in the Champion of Champions. Now, a reminder, the second semi-final of the Champion of Champions takes place tomorrow night. Yan Bingtao and John Higgins will do battle, and our coverage starts at 6:45 p.m. on ITV4. Meanwhile, Judd Trump is in charge of tonight's semi-final. He leads Kyren Wilson 4-0 and has one hand and about 3 fingers on a place in Sunday's final. Both players ready to go again in the commentary box. Alan McManus is now alongside David Hendon to take you through to the conclusion of this match. But first, here's Tahir Hajat to reintroduce the players into the arena.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the arena your semi-finalists, Judd Trump and Kyren Wilson.
Well, Kyren Wilson has been comprehensively outplayed so far. He's struggled badly, let's be honest. Let's see if the interval's made any difference. He knows that it's possible to come back from 4-0 down in this event. He knows it from bitter personal experience, because last year in the quarterfinals he was 4-0 up to Mark Selby and lost 6-5. But if it's going to happen, it has to start in this frame. Hearing around the venue, Judd Trump's not playing well enough to win this tournament. This is before this match. I'm not sure we'll be hearing it after tonight. He's won his last 14 frames in this tournament. He's only lost 1. Yeah, he's playing some stuff tonight. And people have got to remember all these titles he's won the last few years. He hasn't always started off playing his best stuff, but he's found ways to win. And then you get to this sort of stage of a tournament and he starts to turn it on.
Yeah, so far tonight, it's been the complete performance. No centuries, but no matter. He's completely closed Kyren out of this match. Can't get a foothold.
Well, Wilson's going to come back to the table, but his highest break tonight is 17. You know, that just tells its own story.
Judd Trump's 7.
Played so well, didn't he, to beat Neil Robertson to get to this stage a few days ago.
Oh, has he got cover? Okay, it might be a plant if the red doesn't go direct. I think it just about goes.
Well, I think this crowd will give Kyren Wilson a lot of support. They want to see a closer match than it's been so far. It has to start here, doesn't it, at this visit? He's got to put something together here. Remember, he made 3 centuries against Robertson, played superbly.
Might be Keenan trying to shift this red that looks like it's covering the black spot, so I'll be using a bit of power. Hopefully catch it half ball. Well done, good shot.
Eight. Nine. $60. $70.
As Ken said, try and win the first couple of frames, at least see where it takes you. The one positive, I think, for Kyren, he's under absolutely no pressure right now.
25.
You won't feel the match is gone, not by a long shot, but for the time being, just try and get the arm flowing.
$32.
Been very good tonight, the JT.
$33. $38. $39. $46.
Well, he needed some help. Trump took on that long red. And it looked at first like he might have got away with it, but did leave one. Wilson, coming to the table, knew that he had to put something together. So far he's done that. He needs to push on though, take the frame out. Show Trump he's still up for the fight.
$47.
And this is where their sort of rivalry that's been talked about comes into play, I think, because you know, Trump doesn't want to lose to Wilson. He certainly doesn't want to lose to him having led 4-0. At the moment, that prospect is still in the distance. Ooh, well, he was slightly hampered. Even so,
Kyren Wilson, 47.
disappointment.
The only thing you would say there is obviously bridging. Play for the reds to left middle. Nothing to do with the cue ball.
What?
Perhaps being not so much critical, just an observation. I do think that would have been the play there. See it again, just off straight, so nothing to do playing for the two reds into that middle there. Gone though.
7.
Not very inviting, those reds on the send cushion. Yeah, that's clever. The clever way of playing it. I mean, even landing on one of them,
12.
which he still is in a fashion, it's not really any good to him. Just checking the scoreboard. It's important here he doesn't give Kyren a red for free. Fabulous pot. It's actually
15.
not bad, because leave the cue ball near the left middle pocket. He's not going to leave anything should he miss it. Just looking at that now.
$21. Judd Trump 21.
It would have been miraculous, really, to win the frame. Coming to the table where the balls were, Wilson's going to need the two reds. So it's about getting on the last one. You don't mind the black and pink being all.
One.
Yeah, just a question of which one he puts safe. Yeah, I suppose this is the shot. Pink's not going to go anywhere.
Kyren Wilson, what?
do nicely. Obviously, Judd's going to be looking to get the red at some stage. The other thing he'll be looking at, if he gets any sort of chance, is release pink and black. We know how creative he can be. This is critical that he gets 2 cushions and in behind the red to send it. Yeah, that's not what he was looking for. Needs to run, and it has done. Just gotten away with it, I think. Kyren sort of looks to the heavens. He knew that Judd was looking for 2 cushions, and the minute he didn't get it, Kyren's thinking he deserves to leave me this red, but he hasn't done.
Yeah, for all the dazzling shots we saw him demonstrating before play, it could be a shot like that that makes a difference in this frame.
Foul.
Yeah, it's just going to be a free ball. Well, yes, it is.
Just on full. Free ball.
Not quite one that Trump could pot, though.
Something to consider here. Judd might have it put back where it was. See, if he puts Kyren back in from there, he's got a really good chance of separation, Kyren. Yeah, I think this is a gamble. Anything... He's going to be playing it with pace. Well, I'm surprised he's playing it 2 cushions. Got to play this 1 cushion. He's playing it this way, it's not easy to get distance between them. We'll see.
Foul, under miss. Just trump 4. Yeah. Kyren. Go just past me, on. Yeah. How's that? Yeah, Judd? Yeah, thank you. Foul, and the miss. Just trump 4. Yeah. Kyren. Yeah, Judd? Yeah, thank you.
Unbelievable. What a game this is sometimes. I mean, it's always possible, of course, but wow. It's actually happened.
Green ball, thank you.
But
Kyren
doesn't make
Wilson
good
won.
on the fluke. He's just seemed inhibited this evening, Wilson. His average shot time is 33 seconds, which for him is long. I mean, okay, he hasn't had that much table time, I guess, but you know, he's flowing so well, so fluently against Neil Robertson. Trump at 22, that's about where you'd expect him to be.
Not interested in the pot, just trying to release pink and black.
Cheers, John. Sorry. Thank you.
Actually, that was a superb piece of thinking. It would have been easy to get sucked into playing that with a lot of pace, but the fact that he played at the pace that he did, whatever shot Kyren comes up with here, which is going to be pretty much dead weight pace, he'll probably find himself in more trouble. Not an easy hit. Can get a lot of the cue ball. We're playing it with a lot of left hand side. Tell you what, the thinking by Judd a minute ago was simply awesome. Black's now going to be virtually over the pocket. Oh, wow. Well, I thought he could have done a little bit more with that. He might get another chance, but think he can get that even with a swerve. Be barely reachable.
Yeah, sure.
To be fair to him, that was a terrific effort. I just thought a couple of shots ago Judd could have promoted the black. Depends how much of this yellow he can get to.
Pink very much in play now.
Yeah, it's a bit thinner than it looks, this, so I don't think he can get a line to promote the green. Probably playing for a possible double. Second prize would be a cast iron safety shot. Doesn't look like the double's on, does it? So might glance at the black here. Yeah, just had a look there. Possible. No, shying away from it, using blue and brown down the middle line.
Judd Trump 2.
This is what he's developed, the discipline in his game over the years, and as I say, not every tournament he's won, he's played dazzlingly from start to finish. It's not all about that, being there at the end and improving as the tournament goes on, which he's certainly done this week. Longest frame of the evening, 28 minutes. What a big frame, what a big moment in the match. Wilson desperately needs it on the board. He made the running in it, but all the balls now in the open.
Yeah, that was superb again, making proper use of what was available on the middle of the table, i.e. blue, but making sure the green went safe.
Thank you.
Has to make sure he goes on the left half of the green as we see it. Free ball possible. Should he miss it? Yeah.
Foul. And the miss.
And but for the full ball in the
Trump
blue,
five.
it would have been a free ball. Have another go at it.
Just check that in a minute. Keep on that, right? I'll check the blue now. Okay.
This way a little bit.
The
About
blue to
half a ball that way.
Paul Collier assisting
That way.
the referee, Rob
This
Spencer.
way. Towards you. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
The white right, Paul.
Yeah, the white looks fine. It could be a fraction, just a little bit that way, only a tiny bit.
Just hang on, Karen. Just let me.
Just a little bit that way, towards the yellow. And a bit nearer the cushion as well. It's on the right line.
Yeah. Judd. Thank you. Foul.
Well, of course, he fluked the red earlier. Now he's had the opposite. He's hit the green, gone in
Trump
off. That looks like end of frame. The green
Settle
is
down,
stuck up
please.
here. Well, he made all the running in this frame, Wilson, but this is some body blow in what's already been a miserable evening for him. Feels not quite the final nail in the coffin, but pretty close.
3.
He's almost been like a sculptor in the end of the second half of this frame. Judd just keep chipping away at the handsome lead that Kyren had. And now just checking the scoreboard, brown and blue. For 5-0.
7.
Yeah, I mean, he could have had a couple of centuries earlier, big breaks he made, but this frame is far more significant. Wilson, coming back after the interval, had to win this frame and looked like he might do, but Judd Trump needs the blue. He's checking the scores again. He'd like the pink also, but the blue, and Wilson needs a snooker.
12.
Well, he's shown depths to his game here, Trump. OK, you can argue Wilson was unlucky with the in-off, but he was put in all sorts of trouble in that little passage of play there. Trump's safety game coming to the fore.
Absolute granite.
Judd Trump 12.
Wilson into snooker. He's in one and the pink's over the pocket. So he's got to keep it out.
Just 10. Thank you. Six.
In goes
On
the
the
frame.
frame.
Well, that was a bit of a masterclass in tactical snooker, match snooker from Judd Trump. He feels almost a certainty now to reach the final, doesn't he? He leads 5-0.
Another entertaining programme, that's a big tick from me. Trust a trader.
Yeah, the ace in the pack is looking good to reach the Champion of Champions final. 5-0 he leads Kyren Wilson. But that last round, it's not just the fact he won it, it's how he won it. 34 minutes, pretty attritional. He won the battle, and he looks set to win the war. Of course, tomorrow it's Yambing Tower against John Higgins. Higgins, a member of the class of 1992. Myself and Alan took a little trip to the Norbert Castle Hotel today in Blackpool. That was the qualifying venue for Higgins, O'Sullivan, Williams when they turned pro. The old place hasn't changed at all.
Yeah, nice to go back there, wasn't it? Yeah, hasn't changed an awful lot. There'll be a lot of people listening, a lot of ex-players, and pleased to tell you, not really changed in there.
The strange thing was we actually found randomly just a snooker cue. I don't know whether that belongs to anyone from days of old or not.
Yeah, I think it had done. A bit of dust on it.
Whoa.
Well, right now it's damage limitation and it's pride for Wilson. Clearly a whitewash is not what you want against anyone, particularly a high-profile opponent in a high-profile match. Just a few days before the next big event, the UK Championship.
8. No. $60. $70.
One thing Kyren Wilson doesn't do is giving in.
22.
That ain't part of this fella's makeup. He'll try to the last, and so you should do. Lesson for any young player, budding player trying to turn pro in this game. Not first to 5,
23.
first to 6. Yeah, gone astray a wee bit there. Still okay. But just on that, there's no such thing as a lost cause. There's only a lost cause if you make it so.
$31.
Key to this, try as best you can not to take your eye off the pot. Forget about the cue ball. Oh, great shot. How's his luck? Not very good, unfortunately.
38.
Yeah, I mean, in that last frame, you know, he was snookered, he hit the green, went in off, but let's not forget earlier he fluked the last red and then missed the green. So, I mean, he had the chance there to win the frame. Saw both sides of the coin in terms of fortune.
Kyren Wilson, 38.
The head-to-head coming in between them was very close. 9-8 Wilson. No whitewashes in there between them.
Having a go at the pot. They'll be using the blue to get back to bulk. That's the plan anyway. Good cue ball. But where's the red? Yeah. Typical of his evening.
Well, rest assured the game can always find another way to kick you in the guts, and it's done it there to Wilson. It may be the end, we'll see. Down to Trump. Judd Trump looking for his first title of the season. There haven't been that many tournaments yet, of course.
5.
We know he's a big fan of this event. He's had some input into the look of it, in particular the clothing. And of course it's one he hasn't won, so it's one he wants to tick off. Been in 2 finals.
6. Eight.
It was a treat actually to get to spend time with him on the practice table this morning and do a little bit of filming. I asked him, is there anything you want to show us? What you're working on? He said nothing. Which is actually the best thing. He says, I'm just playing. I'm not thinking about my technique. I'm not
60.
working on anything in particular. Just playing, doing his routines and enjoying his snooker. You can almost see that in his game. It's such a simple way of playing. Behind the shot, have a look. That's the one I want. Let's do it.
$22.
Even here he's been careful. The one nearest the left corner, he doesn't want to play it because he thinks he might get a kick on it. So change of plan. Little soft feather cannon. Beautiful.
23.
Beautifully played.
Yes, I think in all departments tonight he's been very impressive.
30.
And if he can wrap it up here, he goes into the final having lost 1 frame.
31. 37. 38.
Well, many people were expecting a close match. Quite a few were tipping Wilson to do the business, but it's been a night to forget for him, unless there's a late twist.
44. 45.
There's your typical example of you never just play for the black, you play for the pink in the black. Yeah. Just about ideal.
52.
He's almost guaranteeing a high of straight black that follows this one. Should get in close proximity to the red.
53.
15-22, so black, red, black. And because he just bounced a hair more than he wanted, might actually work in his favour here, because this is all the eggs going in the basket, dead weight. Give it every chance of dropping. There you go, and it goes.
61.
The black is match ball. Judd Trump has been the best player in the world for the last couple of years.
70.
He's won so many trophies in that period. It feels like he's already the champion of champions. He's just got to win this one to prove it. And he's into the final
73.
with a chance to do that on Sunday against either John Higgins or Yan Bingtao, two players from different generations. Either will provide a stern test, but right now, Trump, he's just loving life.
77.
He's won 16 frames in a row in this tournament.
$82.
Watch out.
88.
Audacious. Judd Trump complete to whitewash of Kyren Wilson. He's the first man into the Cazoo Champion of Champions final. In every department, he was superb tonight.